Good morning, folks. Afternoon, evening, midday, 11s, whatever it is where you are. No time at all. It's at 22:01 here in England. On the 23rd day, 4th month, 2023. If I don't blow my nose, this is going to be a relentless thing. Let me just give you the classic. Used to do that in the hall at school. After they made me go in the hall to blow my nose. And they didn't let me do that 5 or 6 more times. But anyhow, I digress. Get your Arks ready. You're going to have a really bad day. And there's a big line that's going to come across. And most of this is going to come pretty quickly. I'm going to look at this screenshot. This one here. At my time, 1 o'clock in the morning. Which will put you at about lunchtime. 11 o'clock or so in the morning on Saturday the 29th. You're going to have this line that's going to come across us, and it's going to be particularly bad as it pulls this tendril in, and this is going to be the remains of something that's going to be coming across Australia. And I just wanted to give you a warning. I kind of hinted at that already. I had screenshots for days. I've been kind of keeping track of some of what they've been saying the totals were going to be, like even in the gong. And they've gone down a bit on some of those totals since then. But they're still showing the whole coast road is being really not too good at all. And I'm going to kind of go with their original things, because they like to back off, flip-flop, kind of like old shoe sound down the hall. You hear it, but you never know what kind of shoe it's going to have in. Well, I know what's in those tendrils of water that have been coming. And I know what happens when cold and hot. In warm meat, especially when moisture is involved, the moisture of it all. Let me turn this fan off. Alright, now we're going to go through some of the what to be expected of it all, of what's coming. And I suggest you heed this, as it's a heatable thing. A heated debate is one you don't have to debate. You just heed, listen. Just listen. I hope this doesn't occur, right? I can go dramatic. I give you the particles and everything. Yeah, look at the pressures in this. I kind of like having the pressures on, because it gives you an example where it's going to pull the moisture up from, and where's the cold coming from. Where's the lowest pressure to be found? You always could tell by where everything's leaning, because the high flows towards low. Very low right here. That particular graph won't go past the date line. I got a 58 over here. Everything's leaning towards here. Something's very low. 59. That looks like the lowest one. A 56. All right, here's your low. The lowest of the lows is down here by Antarctica. So it's going to have an effect on all the southern hemisphere, low southern ocean pressures. And you can see it's locked on a low, and as high is firmly in place. There's plenty of room for this to move, plenty. But with this locked like this, holding that tendril right like that, that's not good either, because that's going to come behind this one. But this is what's about to affect your weather. Straight left, watch her come across. She's moving slow because this is moving slow, right? You got to think, this has to move for that to move all at once, right? I'm going to turn the camera around. We'll use my hand gesture. Whoa. Let's see if we can flip the camera. Right. There's one way to double tap it. Right. You got a low here, a low here. The hand gestures are about to be involved, which I don't know what you fear. All I know is I got to use them. Right, I get a low here, a low here. I get a high and a high. Well, let's say my thumbs are the lows. They have to move all at once. This one has to move for that to move. There's nowhere for it to go. The pressures will keep equalizing into each other, or they just keep heating one. They heat another. Get a lower here. It has to move. And that little low is controlling it all. And until it moves along too, it ain't going to move. So you have to watch for that reaction to happen. As it bubbles its cold up, it changes the low pressure itself that's being kind of trapped down there near Esperance as it comes around that corner which will naturally, through just friction and change in its dynamics, will cause a low as it hooks around that corner anyhow. Well, it's being added to by this bubble up between bloop bloop. The two heights trying to capture into that low. They're both trying to feed it towards it, right? Which should equalize it towards its pressures and make a huge height. But it didn't, because the bubble up of that one really low is so strong that there's plenty of air coming in between different layers of the cake that you can travel. The whole mass of water can move in this one all at once, while this is stationary. Yeah, now using laminar flow, lateral flows. You'll learn about these things, and the turbulent flows on the edges are very important to store the mixes you could put in a particular layer of the atmosphere. So it's important for you to know that low that's parked off, it's about 800 miles off New Zealand there, has got to move. For that height to move, so it's going to stall. And what comes out into the sea after that has and relying on the other one moving, and it's going to stall. Now, you've got a series of stalls about to happen. I'm going to show you what that's going to do. So I'm going to lean forward here and tap it out with this. There's tonight, there is a extermination of progress, and the color's been on. And look who's liable. Right, if you turn it around. And the combines do suck. And that's a one-off, and it's mine. I made it myself. Proud maker of the meme. Come on, flip around. Oh, we get a little bit of a wonk. I don't like that about the screen. It's okay. We're going to lean back forward now so I can look at the screen. Baby, good day to you too, Sarah Maria Schwell. Now, the seas are going to be heavy swells out here today. I wonder if we can get any views of them. Oh, we should be able to see something there from Albany. Yeah, it definitely look like we get to see. That's the shore. What a beautiful view, huh? Yeah, nothing to see here yet, folks. It's still dark. So we will have to be waiting for anything decent from there today. Esperance, what we got? Starry nights. Wow, isn't that a view? Huh? Oh, isn't that terrible? Look at the campgrounds here they had. Oh, my. Would you look at the streamers, boom, boom, blooms right there. Wow, look at that, huh? Just streamers of death. They call that mare's tails all they want. They could tell all sorts of lying tales. All I know is that's a boom, boom, plume. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, streamering off. Look at this cluster bomb here. Boom, 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 boom. So here's one of them. 1, 2, 3, cluster right there. Chem bomb there. Here's another flower of death being deployed right there. You can't hide your lies in the skies. Your lies in the skies. So many chem bombs in the skies. Chem bomb in the skies. So many dumb ways to die. Yeah, that's right, I went there. And now we'll move it along. Moving right along. Someone to share a little load. It's going to be a bit windy, isn't it? Probably getting 40 miles an hour, maybe in that kind of a low. Oh, come on. Come on, man. You won't be steaming in a town like Hunter with the crack. It's going to be a decent wind field. You have good surf, though. Surf's going to be up. She's just stalling, man. Wobbles and just says, yeah, the EMS says we can come in now. We can come in now. Coming in. Roger. They're going to roger you good on that day. This storm is going to pinch another low. It has to. Now, with all the pressures like this, be easier to read like that. As we're looking at Wednesday, at the impacting of Adelaide. Then Sedona. It's not as bad this time. The big old schmackaroo is going to be Vivone Island over here, Marion Point, the old Yorktown. And the wine will be chem bomb time. Or you're not going to get the worst of it. You know what the worst of it's going to get? The schmackaroos right around here. Right around here. Dumb ways to die. Why don't we chem bomb the skies? Really? dumb ways to die. There are so many dumb ways today. You know, I'd rather pick mine, personally. How about not having a dumb way to die? And living smart. Thinking of all life on this world. Not just our own. Blocking the sunlight. What the hell are we thinking? The 29th is a bad day. The tail end of this is going to bring the pinch up of the low as all this begins to move. As all that begins to move, the storm moves. And she's going to ride, as I've been telling you about these 14 lines, 14 to 18s, and the pressure differences here. It's your sweat of instability. And as that moves, that line moves. Bloop, 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 bloop. Right, and it'll flip around again. Explaining pressure movements. I get a big ball of gas here, big ball of gas here. She's going like this. Boom, 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 boom. You can play with a balloon and make this happen. Boop, 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 boop. Put two balloons together. Put them in the water. You have an object in the middle. That's going to simulate the low pressure. You move them along. Watch how if you pull one, the other is going to go. Watch how it moves. Just let go of this one and pull that one. Watch how both those objects move. Don't do this in a tub with a rubber ducky. Come on. You're sitting there floating in a tub to relax anyhow. Do some science while you're there. Do the science. Greatest science is to be done. Now that bubble up there now, she's going to ride that 14 line. And that 14 line is spread really wide. And it's going to channel that tropical moisture right down. There's going to be a beam. Has to be a beam that Thursday that cuts that tropic line and brings that moisture right in there to meet it. Perfect timing to wham all that shit. And then the wiper slings it all in with all the flow at once. It's just fluid dynamics, that part of it. And by having these neck threads that can be in different layers of the atmosphere compared to chocolate cakes and things and cake layers, the ability to move layers this way and this way has become very efficient at it. And with all the different metals, you make a dynamo, a rudimentary electrical thing, almost like a vortex or magnet in a coil. As you move these things by each other, you could create electrical charge, static charge between the two. And Tesla made one out of wheel, Faraday made one. There was just all sorts of different ones that show this principle. But all I know is you're going to generate some big lightning and guaranteed it'll be tornadic conditions. Just looking at the pressure right there, it's telling me you're going to have tornadic activity coming around the 29th. Yeah, when this thing comes through, depending on which state you're in, I will be covering it. I'll be dead on this one. You're going to take this very serious. So this right here, what he's looking at is going to be, I'm on the 27th, that this will be like nighttime for you. Yeah, this will be dinner time when all your programming is on. As this line begins to affect you guys, this is this bubble up, as I've always called them. Making like a little poem. So many dumb ways to die can bomb the skies. Where do you see what they did to you guys? Yeah, so as the low dives down, she spins a new one out there. She comes to meet you. Hello, I'm your tropical goddess coming down from Vanuatu to bring the love of the ancestors. You better hope you don't see the tiki this time, New Zealand. This one's going to be bad for you. And when this thing comes down at the end of the month and meets this stuff that's been coming from over here, I'm seeing disaster. Again, this is a setup for disaster. This high is pinned. And until it goes, and look at the low right here. Look at the field on that. They're fighting to equalize that, which could make a huge high bank, held up by the continent of itself over here. This is it's a terrible setup in the South Pacific right now for. I'm not agreeing it's going that direction. I think it's coming to the point here because some of the totals that I'm seeing they're bringing a lot of moisture in towards this area, the Wakatani, as this is coming along. For all intents, she should just wander right here and sit. There's nowhere for it to go. Or just steam straight south and get swallowed by this low down here because you're spinning two really, really super lows. And one down here has popped up that day on a 48. It's going to own the show. Might be one of the lowest pressures in the whole planet that day. Boy, will that have some winds. Okay, now. Look at this wind field. It's near hurricane strength. You won't be down here, would you, huh? No, if you would, you'd have to have your snorkel on, that's for sure. Oh, you'd have some freezy bits. So let's go right back to the lookings at this now. The meeting of the two storms. It takes a heavy engineering and planning to do what they're about to do. Because as this hits the shore here, this is going to capture it. Should, by all intents and purposes, spin a second low off the front of eyes. Right here. But will it is going to be, I'm going to have to watch what happens this day here as far as the beams go. This is one of those days. Yeah, stalls. Captures the shit coming from us. And welcome to your Tuesday the 2nd, where your weather is number 2 is the number 2. Whammo. Schmackaroos again. The wet seasons are coming. As you in this days here, I'm going to go right back to you. Not so bad for you in Tassie. The main water catching area of this storm as it comes through is going to be down here in this corner here as it pulls this through. And a turnaround right through the trough here is also going to cause some terrible storms. Because that just does that when the flow changes, and the mixture of those two airs are going to be a little undivided on which layer of the cake they decide to thrust, so to speak. Golly, this is terrible setup. Oof. And what Vanuatu must have caught on the way down. Oh, it'll be some terrible totals coming for a couple days through the trough. Look how you got every bit of 24 hours of volatility as a new low kind of spins, but not like a Lando cane. It'll just have that fierce look to it. As it can spin tornadic activity as it approaches some of the passes as it comes through here. Orange double and all that through a track through here. I'll be very concerned for you right around here. Gumcack and all that. Yodel-a-hee-vil. Mudgy. I just like saying mudgy. You'll kind of be in a bit of a doldrum. I'd be more worried about where it's going to do this turn. The tail end that it drags with it gets very electric as it does. It spits off little pressure bubbles with tendrils of moisture on them. Tends to do that. Just tends to do that. And you guys get a big beam has occurred across the world today, and I'll show you that. I'll try not to forget it. Ooh, and along the coastal highway for your trips home from Grandma's house on Sunday. The old schmackaroo. So it's going to be a shaggy ride. Very dangerous, actually, with some of them downpours. Watch yourself on motorcycles for hail. Sudden downbursts of winds can surely unseat a bike. Sydney, you're going to have some terrible storms come through. It looks like late Sunday. Might be raining all day, but the worst of the storms are going to not be at the beginning of the storm, that's for sure. Boo! And that's your moment. And she's gone out to sea. To see what she will see there, see? And as we head into the terrible Tuesday for New Zealand, their twisted tales and lies of climate change will be denied by the people that see the truth, because we will expose lies. Let's see, where am I at now? Oh, that's an Ione page. Right, here is a huge beam. It has been deployed across the planet today. I just happened to catch it. See if I can zoom down. Get it all on one. Get you a good screen capture of this. Alright, let's roll this. Let's let you see this big fry bastard go on. Watch this come out. Bzz, pow! Bzz, pow! Looked like it was 2 blasts. So I'm going to do a zoom bit. See? It was a double shot. He had told me that was just a single little... a CME burst or something. Now it almost looks like in a satellite type of a swath pattern. So it's possible you could have a space-based device or something that's hit to really high levels of the atmosphere. It's almost dead centered. If you went straight up between the two, you'll intersect Gankona, Alaska. But that's a hell of a shot for them all the way across down to here. But it's, you guys got to tell you, and it's left an open gap for coming across the pole for air. It only comes up through here to feed that. That'll be your law. You have gotten used to what happens when I see these. This is secondary. You're going to have quake action along your Isthmus of Panama through this area in here. And possibly some action along this, the New Madrid. It's a hell of a beam, man. Gitmo. I'm going to do a zoom bit now and see if I can determine an epicenter. Come on. Come on. Now let's do a zoom bit on this. Yeah, you see me. I'm kind of pointing at a ship. I'm seeing two things down here. It had nothing that... He must know something. Uh-huh. Right, there's a ship here. Two of them. They fired north. And south. Where's the other one? Excuse me a minute. This is kind of hard to control the buttons. Yeah, I just noticed that when I was loading screens. I said, I'll have a good look at this live. I think X-Smith did it. I should be able to pick that up really good here. Right to the Astray Fiji. We'll go right to you. I think X-Smith was involved in this as well. Bzzz, getting fried, getting fried. You get a ship down here too. See the blast it did? Maybe there's some war games going on. They're playing with their toys. It's possible. You definitely have a ship out here. His X-Smith fired back. I've seen this before. Yes. It then X-Smith fires. It makes this huge dimple. Yeah, they're playing with their toys. Maybe they're running a test. Ship fires. X-Smith fries. Oh, damn, the earthquake burst through here. That's not good. I'll go back in time. Sorry about that, folks. This is one of those unique events you got to cover while you got it. Bastard. As this comes around the corner, this storm, it's going to run into this wall right here of EMF. Yeah, the outflow of the heat from this is going to rush toward the center of this low right here. The square right here is pinning this low just as it comes across the corner here. This blast is going to create a heated outflow that no air over Antarctica is going to want to go through. The easiest gap is from here and through over to so about over, if the map continued, right to about here. That's where that polar, remember I said it was going to walk something over Antarctica, it's going to come back out the other side in a certain number of days. Whoop, there it is. There's the move, that corridor that opens the door that allows it in. That's the heated black. Here's what they did. I'll show you. Okay, this, I might have a plate or something. Or it just simulates Antarctica, right? With the Hollywood people that have a laugh on it. Right? This was, South America. It was right here. Right? They hit a wall of air. It came across. They hit a beam here. Hit a beam here. There's nowhere else it can come but through this corridor here, because there's also been pulses that came down around other stations of the Antarctica. It beamed out. It only left that one gap, and that's where that cold air was walked across and through. And I use this for weather forecasting prediction for quite accuracy. How many days ago did I tell you this was coming? There you go, cookies. There's a visual aid for you. I can still use it to blow my nose. That's right. Just a quick chapters for you. So we've had a really, really big beaming event. There's definitely more than one station involved. There's a hell of a look at that dimple right there. Bzzz, that's the super fry. That's that big boy right there. That's a Jordan fired. And there's where X-Men. So that's why I said they got some war games going on. It's got a double dimple there, one and two. God, what a beam that thing puts out. It ain't good for them. Let's just have all that moisture run into that wall and come down. Let's have all this just come into that and come down. We're all going to just meet right down here. We're going to come across here at a great big whammo. And that's going to force all that across there at a big old whammo. And you're going to get a whammo, say, because your weather's brought to you by these Acme brothers. And the Wile E. Coyote is out there. And look what he has done to your sky. Terrible skies. They can bomb the skies. Dumb ways to die. Gee, let's block the sun and bomb the skies. Boom for the cans. Boom and for the Ingham. Boom, boom, boom for the Burketown. And we won't leave out New Zealand. You got boomed, you got plumed, you got very little room right here. Look at this big old pulse wave coming out. Let's see if I can focus on this. Better. All right, we have some action in the straits. Boom, big blast. Dumb ways to die. How dare you? Can the skies. God, that's stuck on my head all afternoon. Look at the time on the clock. It's nearly 9:11 there. It's time to change. Who we are and what we want to be. And Brady Bunch fans out there. Boom! Look at this crappy pollution off the coast of New Zealand here. This is the ocean where people fish. And they're out there just dredging the oceans, taking it into their greedy clutches. Everything is there. Throw it back what's not allowed to have legally, even if it dies. Meanwhile, look what they're doing to your skies. Yeah, and that's going in the fish that you're eating. Ooh. You worry about throwing plastic on the ground. If you throw it in the ocean, it's going to be in your din-din plate. Big square of crap off the coast here. It's kind of obvious. You got some geoengineering going on. Geoengineering. Your sky is looking queer and you get the chemicals blowing and the air is very toxic and it burns. Coughing all the time. Hey, you be coughing till you're in the coffin, man. That's how it's gonna go. We're all on this earth together, for better or for worse, till we take that ride in the big black hearse. That's how that's gonna go. And as I look at the crappy skies over here near Meerkat Mountain over here, what the hell is that? Meerkat Hara. There's somebody coughing up a cat hair. Me cat hair. All right, we got a cat hairball out here. Can we remove the screen yet? Can't quite see it. A very odd setup here. Here we go. Malona, how you doing? Hey, Leinster, you doing lines over there? Hey, looks like you got a bunch of lines in your sky. You can't hide your lines in the sky. That's right. Because when planes fly, they're spreading lines across the sky. I thought by now, people would realize there ain't no way to hide your chem-bomb skies. Boom! Wake up. Get out of bed. Do something about it. I'm woke. Hey, that's great. You're woke. How many times have you hit the snooze? 10 years now? Like a cat paw in the sky here? Those are chem-bombs going by. Boom. Streamer and iPhoto. Streamer. Oh, yes, they call them the streamers. Boom! Toxifying air that I see. Our oppressors proud as they can be, depopulating. They're spreading all them disease. Here are some chem for you to see. Boom! Caving cheming over the sea. The chemtrails making their rounds, turning your garden brown, inviting public critique. We ain't allowed to have that public critique, taking away that public critique. Here they come, booming and pluming. There they go, booming and pluming. Spreading the chem bombs in rows. My God, would you look at this shit here? Oh! Dumb ways to die. There can't be bomb in the skies. Ooh, not so good for the kid can roll over there. Dan, boom, 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 toxic fight air going up your nostrils, and it's not very good for everything out in the rave. It's not some very happy bubbles for my very special seahorses out there, clinging to a mask that you threw away because suddenly it was all right to litter. It's your germs being thrown around. You put on a mask to protect yourself, but you don't give a shit about people around you. When you threw that on the ground and your seahorse was clinging to your little earbud, with a sturgeon with a mask on, it's not a healthy sight. And meanwhile, the ignorance of the people being sold climate change, having money spent toxifying their own air, while they destroy every near natural site left on this planet and take all peace of mind away from everybody. Except the ones that say you will own nothing. Who happen to look like they were related to Hitler, by the way. They looked that way. And acting it. They say you're going to own nothing and be happy. Look at it. Do you have the words master plan written for your town? What's our master plan? What's our fourth industrial revolution? What do you mean fourth? Where's the third? It was called the Third Reich and it failed. They can't call it the Fourth Reich. They're just hearing the same terminology. Even got some people say they're purebloods. I heard that talk before too. Scares the shit out of me to think that the truther community itself would actually perpetrate such a square attitude as I look at the work being done by the microwave island over here that has a great big fryer on it. And all the chemrams off the coast over here that are almost out of view in the Coral Sea. They think it's out of sight and out of mind. But they got to be out of their mind to think they're going to get away with Chem Fiji over here forever. They think they're going to get away with this, and they're not. Now it's time to plant. If they kill all the trees, we still got to plant one. Because there's going to be a hanging tree somewhere. That's right, and that's what justice is for. Visible justice. This looks like a little head puking something out of my imaginary. A mixel over from that movie Legend. Higher, burning fire, spreading chem bombs for their choir. And I have a feeling that their Sunday prayers and ours are slightly different. Here's one of their sixes, two of their sixes. Getting a point yet? Are you going to sit on your six? Are you going to watch what's coming? Did you see these totals? Or you're going to now? Excuse me, my voice is going a bit. Ooh. Okay, here you go. Man, Ulladola, you're fucked. East Lyme, you're fucked. Bateman's Bay, you're fucked. Mossy Point, football, fucked. Right, you're looking at, I think you're going to be higher than that, actually. I think it'll be closer to 15 centimeters on the 10th when that comes through. And I already showed the data when it comes through. You want to see the line day? I don't think I still have it pulled up. Let me see if we can find that. It's that one. Yeah, this is my day, 1 o'clock in the morning, my time on the 29th. You're going to have a line of storms impacting the corner down there. It's going to be terrible. Yes, that's what time. Yeah, and then that's going over to New Zealand. Count on it. It'll impact New Zealand around the 2nd of next month. Fubadio. Your totals around here ain't going to be too bad, but you got to watch out for coastal erosion, watch your tides, and enjoy your surf. Enjoy it very much. You have a little bit of a more erosion as you get towards this side here because this storm is parking for a day or so as they turn it. So you can expect some heavy totals along the coast here a lot sooner than the 5s. Like this is the eminence. And so you're going to have quite some difficulties down here. But you got this. No, the old Walpole. Oh, they're going to have a piece of bay. Bay means man in Turkish. You're going to have a piece of a man. Or maybe it's peace for man. That sounds better. Bayan Bay. For all the Bayans. Sevgilim Jansa. Ashka. Wherever you are. Semi Sevion. Oh, some very heavy tola here for Babinda. Bada bing bang bong. And my weenie. My weenie's going to be wet. You're going to have a wet. Let's see A1 again. Those are pinpoint accuracy of hitting of a coast road. What do they want here? Oh, it's probably a port because all this runs here. Yeah. You need some freedom, man. You're probably putting concrete barriers in front of you. That'll really protect you. So we're going to sell a lot of concrete for the concrete company. Okay, maybe a new railroad track might help. Yeah, it's a washout area where you're going to get a lot of drainage. You're going to come down right through this creek here. Watch yourselves down here if you're in this area. At this neighborhood down here off McMahon Drive. You might want to consider the location of your items. Fishery Creek. Well, you might even be able to fish from your balcony. Huh? Here it is for the Bruce. Oh yeah, he's gonna cut it. Bruce is gonna cut his weenie off before he does the next pole vault. He's not gonna quite get over this shape because he's gonna have the Mary weenie there. Yeah, he went there. Yeah, oh yeah, got a lot of little train tracks here. You definitely need some freedom. You need some freedom on this part of the of Merweenie. So watch yourself. You about to get some flood action coming your way. Huh? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. He said it. I don't think those totals are very accurate. Don't waste the time. Ooh. They never agree, do they? So that's why I always stick my guns. I look at what the pressures say. And they say you're fucked through this corridor. You're going to be saggy through here. And I'm watching you very closely because I did see one graph that shows you had a storm forming off this coast here. And I don't see how. And all the pressures say it won't. But one of their stupid weather plans did. And well, your total for the Byron Shire over here is about 4 to 5 centimeters on the 10s. And nothing you can't handle. It ain't nothing like, after what you guys have been through in the last year and a half, it is nothing you can't handle. You already know how to make that your arc. You know what to do. You guys got this. No. Wow. Boy, is this going to be really bad for our bodies. So I might come on here later and I'll talk a little bit more about health and things that I do to mitigate some of the EMF and things that I have to deal with, that you have to deal with, but and what my body seems to enjoy to stay. Not looking like a big fat slob at the age of 59. Ooh, look at that there. We have a casket and a caress. Yeah, this is gonna be a bad storm. It's not the tiki yet. Don't worry about that for you guys. I never want to see that. Yep. And with that said, and with that done, be you, be free, be oneness. Let's defeat the Paris Agreement. Say no to solar radiation management. Big love, peace.